Hey, Nashville. You're listening to A Guide to Healthy Living with Dr. Liz and Dr. Jason. We are your local health and wellness experts. My office is down in Brentwood, Tennessee.
And I am in Franklin, Tennessee.
And together we have a combined experience of 23 years in practice.
Yep, we're wellness chiropractors. We're all about correction. We're all about getting your body back to functioning the way it was intended to without the use of drugs and surgery whenever possible. So,
exactly.
Yep.
That's what we deal with day in and day out of our offices. And what we're going to talk about today is something specifically that we treat every single day. And we're not going to reveal what that is just yet, but we talk about this pretty much every episode.
Yeah.
Thrown this word around a couple times, and you may or may not have ever heard it before this radio show.
And in my office, I'm not one that wants to sit down and try to impress you with a lot of big fancy doctor words. It's not how I operate, but this is one term that I want everyone to know because it's the basis of what I do.
Same with me. When I explain what's going wrong with patients during our what we call a report of findings, I use really fancy words like things and stuff. And that tends to make people understand a lot better what I'm talking about, except for this one particular medical term. This one I will use.
Yeah, and both Dr. Liz and I, what we're about is, one, getting down to the cause. Why are you having the symptoms? Symptoms are your body trying to tell you, hey, there's an underlying cause, correct it. But even further than that, when we have you come back for what we call a report of finding, we want you to understand what's going on with your body because knowledge is power. And a lot of times people just say, hey, you have this or you have that, and they don't show you. And most people want to say yes, 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 because no one wants to look like they don't understand what's going on. You know, you don't want to be that person. So people just say yes, and then they leave, and they have no idea what the doctor was just telling them. All they know is, I have some problem, and it sounds bad.
Right. And that's part of my goal. Just as a doctor, I don't know if you're familiar with what doctor actually means, but it actually means teacher when you look up the Latin roots of the word. So your doctor should be teaching you how to take care of yourself, teaching you how to rid yourself of whatever disease process you may have. And so that's part of Dr. Jason and myself's goals, as well as a lot of other chiropractors' goals, is teaching patients why and how they have these problems and where they're actually coming from, as opposed to saying, you have X symptom, here is Y pill.
Yeah, and so many times people come into my office and they just feel like a helpless victim. They feel like they're at the end of the road. They feel like there's no hope left. They don't understand what's going on. All they understand is they hurt. Whether it's neck pain, back pain, or other issues, they understand their body's not working right. They think that, they've either been dealt a bad, hand in life, that it's genetics, that they're just a helpless victim, that they can't change their circumstances. And one of the greatest things that I see in my office is when I explain it to people so that they can understand, but then also I show what is possible to get them to whatever their goals are. It's fun to see them light up because they have hope again.
Yeah, that's the best part of our job, is getting people back into reaching those goals, whether their goal is to lose weight, whether their goal is to maybe run their first 5K or half marathon or even a full marathon. Different goals for different people based on, what your hobbies are in life or where your age is in life. You have different goals, and we love helping people get to those goals.
Yeah, I mean, I love doing that, and what's just kind of popping in my mind is a guy that came in and his goal was to be able to go on his evening walks with his wife, because that was one of their favorite times, and his back hurt him so bad that he wasn't able to go on the walks anymore.
And how old was this guy?
47.
Yeah, not anywhere old enough to not be able to walk.
No, and he felt hopeless. He was on a lot of meds. He was trying to do everything, stretching, strengthening, icing, all these, but nothing was correcting his problem, and it was just getting worse. And he thought that, going on these walks is something that was, just, I guess, going to be a distant memory. And it's really sad to me because there's so much hope for him. And we sat down, went over it, and now we have a plan to get him back walking with his wife again. And it's fun. He's like a plant that got watered. He has hope again.
Yeah. So if you're just tuning in, you're listening to A Guide to Healthy Living with Dr. Liz and Dr. Jason. Each week we go over different health and wellness topics. So we invite you to check out our website at guidetohealthylivingradio.com, where we post all of our past episodes. Each week, we also post different things from our social media accounts, our Instagram, Facebook, all the different cool places that the kids go these days. We post a lot of things there as well. So definitely check us out. You can also find information about how to contact us as well. If you have questions or if you're looking for an appointment with either Dr. Jason or myself, you can always check us out there as well. Each week we offer a special for a limited number of new patient appointments in our offices. Each week we offer 20 spots. So if you want one of those coveted 20 spots, please give us a call, 615-727-3107, or check us out at aguidetohealthylivingradio.com.
Yeah, and I would just want to give Dr. Liz a lot of credit. Go check out the website, aguidetohealthylivingradio.com. She's put a ton of work into making it look the way that it is. And
it's about to get a really nice facelift, though.
Yeah, and our goal is to make it user-friendly, make it a place that you can go as a health resource. And like we've been talking about, we're going to have a lot of different health topics and people that we trust, and even other chiropractors. You know, some people might be listening right now and saying, hey, I don't live close to Brentwood or Franklin. What about me? We're going to have other trusted health professionals on there that we can show you and refer you to, too, so you can get help in whatever city or county you might be in.
Or state.
Or state, yeah.
We hope to go nationwide with this, so we can help out more people. But again, check that out. See if you can find us on there. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We post some cool, funny pictures of things that we do each week. Before we cut out for a moment, we just wanted to give another little teaser about what we're talking about. Something that we deal with every day in our office and what that is actually called. We'll get to when we get back.
Yeah, and you know what? It's something that in my office, it doesn't matter if it's a newborn, an older person, a younger person, everybody has it. And I'm talking about newborns that have just been born.
Yeah, 90% of babies born in hospitals across America have been shown to exhibit this particular, I guess we can call it a condition.
And you know what? The good news is it's what we're experts in locating and correcting.
Yes,
yep.
Absolutely. Like I said, 90% of babies are born with this, and my guess is probably 99% of adults are walking around with this right now and have no idea.
Yep.
So when we get back, we're going to tell you what that actually is and that you probably have this going on as well. We'll be back shortly, but check us out in the meantime at aguidetohealthylivingradio.com. Or give us a call, 615-727-3107, and get yourself on our appointment list for the week.
Yeah. Take action now. Give that number a call before those spots fill up.
And we'll see you back in just a few minutes.
And we're back again. This is A Guide to Healthy Living with Dr. Liz and Dr. Jason. We are here. We are your chiropractors. We are health experts. And today we are talking about something that just about everybody has. Dr. Liz was keeping me on the edge of my seat, trying to lead us into this next segment. What is it, Dr. Liz?
90% of babies are born with this, and about 99% of adults are walking around with this as well, and nobody has any idea about it. What I'm talking about, the babies that are born with this, it's not that they're born with this condition before they actually come out. It's something that actually happens during the birth process, whether it's what we call a natural birth or a C-section or an assisted birth. This tends to happen more likely with the more assistance that there is, the more likely this is to happen.
Yep. Are you going to let us know what it is? I'm on the edge of my seat.
Well, you already know the answer, but this is what Dr. Jason and I deal with every single day in our office. This is what most chiropractors are also treating in their offices as well, and it's the fanciest word we use in our office. It's called a subluxation.
That's it.
Probably never heard of that.
You know, it's my goal, my dream that someday everyone will know that word as much as a word such as cancer. Medicine has done a very, very, very good job of educating people what cancer is. And, you know, unfortunately, if someone's diagnosed with cancer, people go, wow, this is serious. This is something that I need to take immediate action on. This is not something you put off. And one day I want subluxation to have that same kind of weight where people say,
where it's a household word almost.
Yes, yeah, that's and that's why when new patients come into my office, like I said, I don't throw around a bunch of fancy words, but that's the one word that I want people to know because it's the basis of everything that I do in my office.
same as mine. What a subluxation actually is when the bone itself in your spine is restricting off the nerve impulses from your brain out to your body.
Yep.
It's a pretty simple explanation.
Yeah. And then that nerve, which does three things, it's what you feel with, it makes muscles work and organ systems work, isn't able to do what it's supposed to do if it wasn't interfered with.
Right. So when you look at a bundle of nerves, like Dr. Jason just mentioned, there are three different types of nerves. Now, there are subsets of those nerves, which we are not going to get into.
No, let's not get that technical.
Way too deep into neurology. But we'll just kind of skim the surface of the high school level version of this explanation.
Perfect.
10%, or sorry, let's start with the other percent. 45% of your nerves are what he just mentioned, are motor nerves. Those are what help us walk and move and reach and carry and lift and do the motion of your body throughout the day. The other 45% are something called autonomic nerves. These are the things that connect to every cell, organ, and tissue in your body that tells them how to function throughout the day. But you also have to imagine that there is a reverse nerve that goes back and tells the brain what that organ's actually doing too. It's a two-way street there. And then only 10% at the very bottom there is only 10% that is controlling your pain.
Yeah, what you feel with.
Yeah, so what you feel with is only 10%. So you could have a dysfunction in 90% of your other nerves and still not exhibit pain. Now, you're going to have some other symptom. It just may not hurt.
And that's what chiropractors really are. You know, we get labeled as back doctors, but we're really nervous system doctors. We adjust the back to get at what is housed there, and that's your nervous system, your spinal cord and the nerves that are exiting.
And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to blame chiropractors for that.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, when insurance covered everything, chiropractors were widely known for treating back pain, and we've pigeonholed ourselves back then at only treating neck and back pain, when prior to that, it was a widely known application for many other symptoms, diseases, and other processes going on within our bodies.
Yeah, and you know what we
it's
really
our own fault.
Yeah, we remove interference so that your body can heal from the inside out, so that it can adapt to the environment and perform the way that it was supposed to. We got labeled into back pain and neck pain, and we do great with that.
Oh, yeah, we do awesome at that.
But that's not what our purpose is. Our purpose is to remove this interference to the nerve, which we call a subluxation, so that your body can heal itself.
Exactly. So when patients come to our office, a lot of times they'll say, I just woke up in pain.
Right.
Which is really the most concerning thing when people tell me that. You shouldn't just wake up with your back hurting or your neck hurting.
No, we're a very cause and effect society. This happens in my office too. Everyone wants to say, well, if my back hurts or my neck hurts, I need an event to cause it. And that's one of the most disturbing things is they can't figure out what caused it. It's like if I fell off a ladder and my back hurt afterwards, that makes sense to me.
I had a car accident, my neck hurt afterwards.
Exactly. But like what Dr. Liz was saying, the hardest is when they just come in and they say, I don't know. I just started hurting. I
had a guy a couple months back tell me I bent over the sink to spit my toothpaste out and couldn't get back up. I was stuck. I was stuck bending forward at the waist, and that was it. That's exactly when it started. And if you think about the act of bending over to spit toothpaste out, it's not very violent. It's not very active. It's not very strenuous.
Maybe he was really into it.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But just think about that.
You're
Something
right.
as simple as bending forward at the sink should not throw your back out. The reason is he probably already had that underlying problem we call a subluxation, and that just happened to be the moment when it failed.
Yep. And
he hit one of those pain nerves.
Right. And if we're talking to you out there and you're one of these people either that knows why you have the pain or you're sitting there going, my goodness, they're talking to me. I don't know why I have it, but I do have it. Dr. Liz, would you tell them about how they can come into our office, our website, where they can find out information about us?
Yeah, you're going to have to learn this stuff yourself, man.
I'm working on it.
So we've got a nice website set up. It's a guide to healthylivingradio.com. At that website, you can check out many of our past episodes that we've posted, but also some information that we will be posting soon about other practitioners in other areas, other cities, other states even. But if you want to make contact with Dr. Jason or myself to come into our office, either in Brentwood or Franklin, call 615-727-3107. And each week we offer a limited number of spaces within our schedule to get you guys who listen to us on the radio in, so we can check out to see if you have a subluxation. A subluxation is not something to ignore, and it's not something that you should put off until tomorrow. Give us a call right now, 615-727-3107. If you call and let us know you're calling from the radio show, we'll do a new patient exam, consultation, and x-rays for only $20.
Yeah, normally those tests run, if you added it all up, to about $250. So if you're looking to get in and you're looking for the most affordable way, you can't beat what we do for our listeners out there.
Yeah, for $20, find out if you're subluxated, if that's something we can help you with, and we will give you the best recommendations possible to get your life back.
Yep. And one of the things I love to tell patients is everyone always thinks like when you start feeling the pain is the beginning of the problem, and nothing could be further from the truth. If you look at a health spectrum, true health is your body healing and functioning at or near 100%. Symptoms such as pain, numbness, tingling, whatever you might be feeling, they don't show up till 60%. So that whole period between being 100% and going all the way down to 60%, you're not feeling it because, as Dr. Liz said, only 10% of those nerves are dealing with sensory.
With pain, exactly.
Pain. Yep.
Some of the other symptoms you could be having may not even sound like they're related to a pinched nerve, because I know people are getting smarter. They know that sometimes a pinched nerve causes numbness and tingling down the arm or shooting pain down the leg. Yes, Those are also pinched nerve symptoms. But did you know things like heartburn, constipation, skippy, racy heartbeat, or in the South we call it what, Jason?
The flutters.
Yes, this is something he learned this past weekend.
I did.
The flutters, but also headaches, dizziness. Sometimes even people tell me blurred vision. These are all other symptoms that we've seen when somebody is subluxated. Sometimes those come with or without pain.
Yeah. And, the thing about it is what they all are underlying ways that your body is telling you there's a problem. We're not functioning right, because you're not supposed to live with those things if your body is truly healthy.
And if you even just look up the definition of what health is, nowhere in the definition of the word health, whether it be on the World Health Organization or any medical textbook, does it actually mention lack of symptoms means you're healthy.
Nope.
There's not even any little mention of that. So just because you have no symptoms doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy.
I want to talk about that when we come back, too, because that steers more people wrong than anything, I think, out there right now.
Yes, and we'll touch more on that and what that actually means when we return. But again, check us out on the onlines, on the World Wide Webs.
web.
On the World Wide Webs.
That's it.
Wasn't that Bush that said that?
I think so.
On the onlines. Anyways, a guide to healthylivingradio.com or 615-727-3107. Get on our schedule this week. We have a limited number of spots available. We'll be back shortly, and we're going to talk about why having zero symptoms doesn't mean you're healthy. Welcome back. You're listening to A Guide to Healthy Living with Dr. Liz and Dr. Jason. We're your local health and wellness experts, and we've been talking about what we deal with every single day in our office, every minute we're there.
Yes, it's called subluxation. It's nerve interference that's not allowing your body to heal, not allowing your body to adapt to the environment, and it's causing you the symptoms which are bringing you into our office, whether that's neck pain, back pain, headaches, or we see so many different people come in with different symptoms. But if you're feeling it, the nerves are responsible for it.
Absolutely. When you feel anything, your nerves are responsible for it, whether it be pain or, like we were saying before we went on break, things like heartburn, headaches, dizziness. Those are all signs of something malfunctioning.
Yep, and we're the people to come to. Chiropractors are nervous system doctors. So if you're having issues like that, let us check you out.
Yeah, so if you are having symptoms like that, what I was going to say was also, it doesn't mean you're deficient in Tylenol.
You don't think so?
No. Or Tums.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
You ever think about that?
Yeah. No, I actually do. I raise these questions in my office too.
Yeah, I as well do. And it sometimes stumps people when you ask them, if this bone is not moving properly and it's putting pressure on your nerve, what pill or shot is going to make that bone take the pressure off the nerve?
Right.
You get a bunch of blank stares, confusion, and some people look at you like you're an idiot. They're like, well, nothing. Exactly.
Well, that's
the right answer.
That's because we explain it in a way that they can understand. Then they're able to look at us like we're idiots asking that question because they understand. And then that makes me smile because
that means they got it.
They got it, and I want them to own their health because, in my opinion, nothing is more important than your health.
I agree.
Because if you don't have your health, you have nothing.
I agree.
Yep.
Before the break and last couple of segments, we've been talking about what a subluxation actually is. And that's when a bone is misaligned, putting pressure on nerves. It can be causing different symptoms, not just pain, because that's only 10% of the issue, but the other 90% could be, like we mentioned, heartburn, constipation, digestive issues, heart palpitations, dizziness, headaches, all these other symptoms that we see resolve themselves. I like to call it a positive side effect as opposed to negative side effects. That we're all accustomed to with drug interactions. But with us, we get a positive side effect by those things going away by just us moving some bones around.
Yep. And the body is amazing. I mean, it never ceases to amaze me what I see happen in my office. The body wants to move towards health. These subluxations, though, just limit its amount to move in the direction it wants to. And, I always tell people your body wants to heal. If you cut yourself right now, you're just not going to bleed out and die. Your body wants to clot and scab, and if you leave it alone, you're never going to know you have a cut. So obviously your body has the ability to heal, so why is your back pain not healing? Why is your neck pain not going away? Why are all these other things that we've been talking about during this show today not resolving on their own? It's because you have these subluxations. Your body is doing the best that it can, but the best that it can right now is saying, hey, go see somebody. We have a problem. Don't just mask it. Let's get it corrected.
And to add on to what he was saying, your body is giving you these signals, and by ignoring them, you're also allowing it to slowly get worse.
Right. Let's go back to what you were talking about, Dr. Liz, where you were saying, well, if I feel good, therefore I'm healthy.
Ah, yes, I forgot. That's what we were going to talk about.
Yep.
This is what I call health myth number one. Just because you have no symptoms doesn't mean your body is functioning at 100%.
I think one of the big problems in the United States right now is we don't know how to judge our health. And the challenge is that's what we've been told, that we judge our health by the presence or absence of symptoms or simply by how I feel. If I feel good, therefore I'm healthy. And if I hurt, then I'm not healthy and go do something, whether it's a drug or something else. And then if I feel good again, I'm back to healthy. Mm-hmm. And it's not true.
And my personal measure of health is not how many drugs can I be on to support whatever symptoms I have, but temporarily, those may be necessary, and I totally agree with sometimes those are necessary. But
yes.
My next question is, what can I do to get back off of these medications so that my body is functioning like it was designed to and created to without the support of these drugs?
Yep. And if you look at the two leading killers in the United States, heart disease and cancer, by the time either of those diseases present with symptoms, you're in serious trouble.
Yes, you are. So specifically with heart disease, which is that's the first killer, right?
Yep, that's number one right now.
Heart disease for men and women is the number one killer. Most people don't realize that they are in the process of a diseased heart or cardiovascular system. That includes your arteries and veins as well, until you have the major symptom of a heart attack. Oftentimes, in most cases, that's most people's first exposure to the fact that they have this process going on. They didn't wake up all of a sudden, bam, 100% healthy, bam, heart attack.
Well, and they have, I had 4 stents put in, 4 of my arteries were 96% occluded. That did not happen overnight.
No.
Same thing with the cancer diagnosis. By the time you start having night sweats or other symptoms of cancer, and they go in there and they see
you're in stage 3 or 4.
Yeah, that happened years and years and years. The challenge is you felt good while that disease process was building inside of you.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we hear it all too often as cancer is becoming more and more common and more riddled within our society. Grandpa or uncle or aunt or lady that sits down the pew at church was doing just fine last week.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, she wasn't at church today. Or all of a sudden, uncle didn't go to work today. And he's starting to feel crappy. And he went to the doctor and has stage 3 cancer.
Or the guy that went out for a jog, or the lady went out for a jog and had a heart attack while they were jogging. I can't believe it. They were so active. They were so healthy. They said they felt fine. They looked good. I can't believe this happened to them.
Mm-hmm. And it's not that they just all of a sudden had that incident happen. It grew over time. Oh, no, my phone is making noises here.
Yep, Dr. Liz is getting blown up. But the thing about it is there's another way that you need to be able to learn to judge your health, and it's not how you feel, because that's a gauge that's going to lead you down a wrong road. And someone like Dr. Liz and myself, when you come into our office, we can, through the diagnostic tests we do, the x-rays we do, we can take a look at what's happening with your nervous system, which controls every aspect of your life, to give you an idea what's going on with you.
And we love to do that because it's always empowering to our patients to realize that there is a cause and a reason for their symptoms. I don't know how often you hear this as much as I do maybe, but sometimes people feel like they need validation for why they feel so crappy.
Right.
Like they come in and they're like, please tell me there's something wrong. Like almost like they want there to be something wrong so that we can at least give them a solution of what to do. I had a lady just last week, she said, so you're telling me I'm not crazy? And I was like, no, you're not crazy. Why would you say that? She said, because my husband doesn't believe me that I'm in this much pain all the time. And I was like, well, this right here. And we pointed right to the spots on her x-rays that's causing all of her symptoms, not just her low back pain symptoms, but also she was having, in her mid-30s, she's having to get up 3 or 4 times in the middle of the night to go pee. She can't hold her bladder. Her bladder function's not under control either. And at her age, that should not be a problem. That should not be happening. And so we related those two things to the area that she's having subluxations in.
Yep. And if we're talking to you out there and you're like, this is me, I want to take action, what do I do? You can do one of two things. You can head over to our website. It's a guide to healthylivingradio.com. You can find information there of how to sign up and come into the office. If you're just saying, I want to give them a call, our phone number is 615-727-3107. And what we do is we open a limited number of spaces in our office every week for you out there that want to come in and find out how we can help you. We make it affordable. Normally, if you just came into our office, it's about $250 for what we do, but we're offering it for $20. But it's a limited number of spots that we're able to do this for. So if that's you, again, go to our website, a guide to healthylivingradio.com, or give us a call, 615-727-3107.
You did that perfectly. I'm so
Thank
proud of you.
Thank you.
He usually defers to me to say all that. We're about to go on another break, but when we get back, we're going to touch on a little more about how we become subluxated. It may surprise you what sort of things can actually cause subluxations. It's not just the falls.
This is one of the biggest things because everyone who comes into my office thinks it's something physical. Spill, fall, motor vehicle accident, poor posture, and really, out of all the reasons, that's the least.
I would say it's pretty common, though.
It's very common, but the other ones make people go, I knew it.
Yeah, there's something else going on besides a fall because you didn't just wake up with back pain. You didn't fall down the stairs the day before. What could else have been going on to contribute to this? So when we get back to A Guide to Healthy Living, we will go over exactly what that is. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. This is A Guide to Healthy Living with Dr. Liz and Dr. Jason right here on News Radio 1510 WLAC. We're your wellness chiropractors. We're talking about health. We're talking about you. We're talking about ways to get you back to being the you want to be.
Yeah, this is what we're good at. This is what we love. The last couple of segments, we've been touching on what it is we deal with in our offices every day and what many chiropractors around the country also, I guess around the world, also deal with. And it's something called a subluxation.
Subluxation. It's the one thing when you come into our office, we want you to know because it's what we correct. It's what we're experts at. It's what's robbing you of your health. It's what's causing your symptoms. It's what is leading your body to say, hey, take action, get this thing corrected so that I can function, heal, and adapt to the environment the way I'm intended to. And guess what? Then your symptom's going to go away, and you're actually going to be healthy.
Yeah, it's not your painkillers or your muscle relaxers that are actually fixing your problem. It may temporarily relieve them. I totally agree with that, but it's not correcting the problem.
I always give kind of the analogy of the difference between chiropractic and medicine is kind of, if the gas light went on your dashboard, medicine would more be looking at the symptoms. They would say, well, if we pull this fuse, the gas light will go off. To me, the gas light, even though we don't like to have to spend money to fill up our tank, it's an important warning saying there's an underlying problem. I know if I put gas in my tank, then the light's going to go off.
Yeah, or the oil light or the check engine light. You don't just stick tape over those warning lights. They are a warning light because something is not right.
Yeah, I also have my tree one I like. If your tree is producing bad fruit, medicine wants to pick the fruit, take a look at the fruit. I want to take a look at the roots of the tree.
Yeah, what's wrong with the soil? What kind of stuff is happening from the ground up?
Yep.
Exactly. That's we just look at the body a little bit differently. Neither way is incorrect. I'm not going to say that medicine is wrong by any means, but medicine looks at the body in a biochemical aspect. If it's low, let's give it something to make it high. If it's too high, let's give it something to bring it back down low. But what chiropractors do, what Dr. Jason and myself do, we look at, well, okay, it's low. Why is it low? What can we do maybe dietarily to bring it back up? Or what can we do to stop the cause of what's causing whatever that is to be low to bring it back up, as opposed to giving something in from the outside in? We want to see what we can change from the inside out.
Yeah, and we work with medicine. There is definitely a time and a place for medicine. And thank goodness we live in a day and an age where we do have the surgeries and the medical procedures.
For emergencies.
But then there's other times, though, where if you give the body what it needs, you don't need to take the medicine. And by all means, we always want you to consult with your physician. We're not here to tell you not to listen to your physician, but we're here to stimulate your minds and show you that there's a different way.
There could be something better.
There could be something better or different than what you're trying to give you the outcome.
Yeah, people often label us as alternative medicine, and I'll take it. We are an alternative to medicine.
I love that because to me, it's mainstream to say, your body has the ability to be healthy if you give it what it needs. We do that with everything. We keep our cars tuned up, and if you do your maintenance and treat your car the way it's supposed to, it's going to give you the best life possible. You have a garden, you know what you need to do to make sure that garden produces the best fruit. We fall in that same category. Mm-hmm. You keep us tuned up, we really do well.
We do. Our bodies are actually hardwired to live over 100 years. Our DNA is hardwired for that. It's just, what are you going to do to your body in the first 50 years to get it to the 100? Not what are you going to do at the last minute once you're 70 to get it there.
Well, and we Americans, we're interesting. I always say for about the first 50 years of life, we put our health way on the back burner. It's about making money or whatever else is important, and our health suffers. And then for the next 50 years, if you're lucky enough to live that long, we give back all that money and everything else we've earned to try to regain our health. And it's just really not a good way to address, life.
Yeah, I know a lot of people say, well, it's expensive to eat organic. Well, it's way more expensive to go through cancer treatment.
Yeah.
If you weigh the odds and how you spend your money, it's actually cheaper in the long run.
Well, let's dive into these subluxations, these issues with the nerves that are not allowing your body to adapt and do what it needs to do. Now people say, well, you know what, you're saying I have this subluxation. How the heck did I get it?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say is right before we went on the break, we talked about what actually causes subluxation. So I'd like to start from the very beginning.
Let's do it. Lead us off.
So we do see children a lot in our offices. And if you caught us at the very beginning of the show, we gave a little teaser there that 90% of babies born in hospitals actually develop a subluxation. And when we look at the studies that they've done to prove that this is true, of those 90%, 10% actually had such a bad subluxation that even an untrained person could detect that subluxation. Did you see that study?
I did. All 4 of my children had subluxations of their upper cervical spine, and I was so just watching exactly how they were delivered to make sure that their necks weren't pulled on or anything like that. And they all still had subluxations.
Yeah, the birthing process is really tough. So of that 10%, usually there was some other extra amount of force involved, whether it be a cesarean section, a forceps extraction, a vacuum extraction. But even then, without those, 80% of the other births, some of them still were vacuum or cesarean or so on, and some of them were just generic, what they call a natural vaginal birth with doctor assistance, just pulling on the baby's head a little bit to get them out.
That's why I'm so adamant about getting children checked, because if they are from day one born with these subluxations, so their body is already being choked off, you go and remove that and let the body do what it needs to do, they thrive. And
they do so well. They grow so much in just the first 2 years of their life. They more than double their size. At no other point in time in a human's life do you double in size except for from birth to 2.
Yep.
So you want to make sure that your child has their best ability to grow naturally and evenly from side to side, so that they're hitting all of their motor reflexes on time and all of their milestones that they're supposed to meet. But oftentimes, parents will say, well, how do I know if my kid's subluxated? They're not able to talk to tell me that they're in pain. The most common thing is colic. That's how your baby's telling you something's wrong.
Yep.
Uncontrollable crying, uncontrolled soothing, or not uncontrolled soothing. You can soothe them all you want, but it's not doing anything. They've been fed, they've been changed, they wake up, they don't sleep. That's colic.
Yeah. And if we're talking to you out there, and whether you have children, Dr. Liz and myself see a lot of kids every week in our office, or you're saying, you know what, this sounds like something I have. My body's not healing. I'm tired of dealing with this neck pain, headaches, migraines, whatever it might be. Again, come check us out. You can see us at aguidetohealthylivingradio.com. You can find out how to contact us there. Or you can give us a call, 615-727-3107. Every week we open up 20 spots for you out there to come in an affordable way so that we can help you. Normally these tests that we do, these special x-rays we do, cost about $250. We offer it for $20. It's an affordable way so you can get checked out, so you can say, you know what, I need help, but the only way to get it is to take action. So give us a call, visit our website, but do it now because, like I said, those spots go quick.
They do go very quick, and not just you guys calling in, but other people that are looking for us, that are looking for a chiropractor in their area, they're getting filled up by those people as well. So you're fighting against your neighbors in your community to get in. Another thing I wanted to go through is, okay, so we're past childhood. Maybe we're teenagers now. Maybe we're 20. Maybe we're 30. Maybe we're 50.
Right.
How else do we get subluxated? Of course, there's the obvious ones. A fall.
Yeah.
Fell off a bike, learning to roller skate, car accidents. Maybe you played football. Those sort of things, of course, are kind of the obvious ways to get your body out of whack.
I put those all into the category of a physical stress.
Yeah, those are physical stresses to your body. The interesting thing about a physical stress is, though it may have happened when you were, say, 16 years old playing high school football, even though you may have gotten what they call maybe a stinger, a burner, or whatever those little little sayings are that they call those things, you got over it within a couple weeks, and then I'm doing the air quotes for the video people that are watching us on camera, you felt better, but 20 years later you start having pain, and you just woke up with it. Oftentimes when we do those special x-rays, I can timeline things back, 15, 20 years ago. What happened? What happened 15 or 20 years ago? Well, nothing. And we start picking things apart and find out, well, they had a football injury, or they got in a concussion, or they had a car accident. And even though it happened 20 years ago, it can still affect you later in life. So anytime we have physical accidents, that's the best time to get checked out, because the sooner you can get those corrected and treated, the better off you're going to be down the road to not have issues from that injury. And
I like to just throw out before we run out of time that that's physical stress, and that's what most people think the reason they're visiting us is.
It is pretty common.
But the biggest one is emotional stress that causes subluxation.
Emotional and chemical stress, both.
Yep. And you think about our world today, we live in an incredibly stressful world.
Yeah.
Divorces, deaths in the family, job changes, finances. It was just tax time. All of these things, they have a huge burden on the nervous system. They sure do. They release different hormones within our system that cause muscles to get tight. They cause muscles to become rigid. Those muscles are attached to those bones and pulling those bones out of place, causing subluxations. Just the same way as chemical stress can. That's going to be your pollutants from air, your water, your artificial sweeteners, your artificial flavors. The different medicines that we take can also trigger very similar to an emotional stress on the body by tightening muscles and releasing hormones that cause these sort of things as well. I always say your body is like a pitcher of water. and the lifestyle stresses the water that goes in it. So as long as your pitcher isn't overflowing the top with water, your body's equipped to handle it. Your nervous system can handle the stress, but most people's pitcher is overflowing.
And that's
when you get the breakdown, and that's when the body really starts to suffer. So if we're out there, take us home, Liz. We're talking to the people that are suffering right now. They have subluxation. They know it.
You are subluxated.
You are. Tell them how they can get in touch with us.
I was going to say, Dr. Jason and I each get adjusted at least once a week to correct our own subluxations, and we've been doing this for years. So if we're talking to you, you probably have a subluxation. Let's get you checked out. Find us on the web, aguidetohealthylivingradio.com, or call us at 615-727-3107. And at either of those places, you can get in contact with us to find a chiropractor in your area or to see either Dr. Jason or myself.
Have a wonderful week.
We'll see you next time.